Ready to say goodbye to that dry, tight, dehydrated skin? In this video, I'm going to share with you the secret to getting soft, dewy skin and keep it that way for life. Now make sure you pay close attention to step number 4, as I will be giving the ultimate transformational step to your skin's results. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to give you a special gift that covers everything in this video and more to help you on your skin's journey to a healthy, beautiful complexion. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to identify dry skin type, the pros and cons to dry skin, other skin conditions such as obviously dehydrated skin, aging, sensitivity, texture, sun damage, and acne. So before I move forward with this video on dry skin type, I want to make sure that it's very, very clear that we're talking about dry skin type and not dry skin condition. There is a huge difference between the two and how you will be taking care of your skin. Any skin type can have dry skin condition. What dry skin condition is it's actually skin that is dehydrated. It's lacking water and needs water in the skin. With dry skin type, your skin type does not actually create any kind of oil, and that's what makes it dry. As dry skin type, you will also have dehydrated skin as well. But if you're someone who creates oil in the skin, like you have some oily areas or greasy or something, then you have a dry skin condition. And I do believe I have a video on that, on how to hydrate your skin properly, and I will share it here in this video at the top here. But if you have dry skin type, this is a video for you on how to take care of your skin properly and how to hydrate it and protect it properly. Now, I also made a video a few weeks ago about how oil helps trap in water in the skin, and it's a really interesting video, and I highly recommend that you watch that just to get an idea of what oil does for the skin. Even though your skin type does not create oil, it is still something important for you to understand, so that way you understand a little bit more about the skin type regimen that I will be giving to you today. I also made a video about normal skin type, and I really highly recommend that you watch that as well, and I will put it here as well for you to watch, because all skin types should be trying to mimic normal skin type, and that's what's going to help balance out the skin, because normal skin type has a perfect water and oil ratio that makes that skin healthy. And so again, that's also what I'll be sharing with you in order for you to get good, healthy skin. So even though I've just kind of identified what makes you have dry skin type versus just someone who has dry skin condition, I'm going to go over a few other things to see if you really do qualify as someone with dry skin type. So one of the things with your skin is that it will be very tight all the time, and you will notice that you never have any kind of shine or greasiness or anything. It's always very dull, and you're always wondering, like, what are all these people talking about, all this oil in their skin and the shininess, and like, you don't seem to understand it because your skin does not produce it, so you don't have the problems or the struggles that other skin types may have, and you're just wondering, like, why am I different? And you probably notice you kind of maybe feel like you're an oddball. And one of the reasons too why you might be feeling that way is this is a very rare skin type. It's not very common. And what makes it very rare and uncommon is the reason why your skin is a dry skin type is you do have what's called a damaged barrier. Your skin just doesn't produce that oil, and that oil that's created on the skin normally and naturally is what's called the acid mantle, which helps protect the skin as well as try to lock in that water, as I explained in that video to watch. And yours is actually damaged. Your skin just does not create it. Something in the DNA there has just damaged that spot in your skin that it doesn't create the oil that it needs to create that acid mantle. So it doesn't have that proper protection that everyone else kind of seems to have. So we really need to focus on protection and hydration with this skin type. Due to also being really dry, you also might even feel like your skin's always a little bit rough feeling, like there's always some kind of texture. While other people might also have texture just due to not exfoliating properly or knowing how to exfoliate properly, yours is rough due to mainly dryness and also being quite thin. Your skin is very, very thin. It's like tissue paper. It doesn't feel like there's much protection as the skin itself. It doesn't feel like it's thick. It doesn't feel like it's kind of like, oh, it's in good shape. It's almost like it's very thin, very tissue paper-like. That's another characteristic of this skin type. The other thing you might notice about your skin as well, if you do have dry skin type, is that you don't really have any pores, or at least it doesn't seem like you have any pores. And the reason for that is because your pores are not actually producing oil like they should. So therefore, it's almost like they're invisible. There's really no reason for them to be there. So when you hear and talk about people with all these pores, and they're usually talking a lot about their nose and all that stuff and all the pores, you're kind of looking in the mirror being like, I don't know what people are talking about. I don't really have any pores. Like, I don't have any dots or anything on my skin. It's completely like non-existent, really. The other thing too is you are always feeling the need to put on moisturizer. Like, moisturizer is just never enough. You're always wanting to just pile on moisturizer over and over and over again. People with dry skin condition can also feel this way, but it's like you started this a lot sooner and a lot more common than most people tend to. The other thing too is you might have noticed superficial lines a lot sooner than most people. So a lot of times we'll see them around the eyes. We might notice them more around the mouth too. But I've also noticed with a lot of other people that they think, oh yes, I've noticed superficial lines ever since I was like 15. I'm like, I don't really think you have, unless you have dry skin type. Then you might notice that. Most people really don't notice it till they're like somewhere in their like about 25, maybe a year or two before that, like 22, 23, 24. But really, people don't start noticing lines and wrinkles on their skin until they're about 25. But for dry skin type, you are gonna notice them way sooner than everyone else. And you might even have noticed it maybe when you were a teenager, before you even finished high school or anything. Now, one of the last things too is your skin may also be quite sensitive, and that's due to not having any oil protection on your skin and not having enough water in the skin. So sensitivity can really be a big part of this skin type. And a lot of times you might even have like a lot of redness in your cheeks a bit. Now that could be something a doctor needs to diagnose you with, possibly, but it's possible, really, if you properly hydrate your skin, that might possibly all go away, and it simply might be there just because it doesn't have enough water or proper protection for your skin. So believe it or not, there's actually a slight pro to this skin type, and that is actually that your skin can actually look somewhat almost flawless in a way. Once it's moisturized and properly well hydrated, you have the potential of having more of like a glass skin because you don't have the pores and the ruffles of those pores, and you might even have a healthy glow once your skin is well kept in good condition. Just to let you know, my mother actually has dry skin type, and when I'm working with her, a lot of people do compliment her on just her complexion because it's like her skin is just like glass-like. Like there's no pores, there's nothing, but she also has a good healthy glow to her skin, so she just looks fresh and clean all the time. You also won't get the greasy shininess that other skin types might have, such as oily skin type or oily combination skin type generally will have problems with oil and shine. I do have combination skin type, and my main problems are usually right here in this area that bother me a lot with oil and greasiness and shine. You will not have those issues because you don't create the oil to make it look greasy or oily and shiny. In fact, you probably want more shine to your skin, if anything. There is a large con to it, and that is that you can age much faster and more rapidly than any other skin type. So if we can properly hydrate the skin and properly protect the skin and be able to do this on a regular regimen basis, you'll be able to combat that and have great looking skin and start getting real compliments about how people would wish that they actually had your skin. So some of the skin conditions that you may be facing and are more likely to face, first of all, is dehydration of the skin. And the reason for that is, like I mentioned in my video about the oil and the water thing, because you don't make that oil, that water evaporates so much faster. And that video shows that clearly in the video as to what is happening with your skin. And without that oil topping, if you will, that water is just evaporating very fast. So you have the highest likeliness that you will have dehydrated skin. The next most common thing for you, as we just discussed, was the aging. You will age much faster and more rapidly than other skin types. So if we could just get you on track, we can really prevent it and even maybe reverse some of the signs already. Again, sensitivity is another skin condition that will happen for this skin type, common because of the lack of water and oil protection. Now with sun damage, that can happen with anyone regardless of skin type, but that is a skin condition, and I will be making videos about each and every one of these separately for themselves later on sometime soon. Acne doesn't really happen for this skin type, mainly because you have no oil, and even you could put butter on your face and you're never gonna break out, while other people be like, if I even think about butter, I break out, you know? So you will not really have a problem with acne. Now, if you happen to have some kind of breakout or some kind of acne going on, more than likely it's due to a few things. It's usually more of an internal issue, and that could be, most of the time it's usually like a hormonal issue. If you have a hormone off balance, your body could be using acne breakouts in order to communicate to you. Something very common though with people with dry skin type and their breakouts or acne is they're not normal with a bunch of pus in them. It's more like water. Maybe there might be a little bit of pus in there, but it's usually not. It's usually more like a watery whitehead or something. And so it's a little different than what other people will be describing when they have acne. The other thing that could be causing any kind of acne, if you do happen to have it, would be that either you're eating something that you could be allergic to, that your body's just not working with, or you could be deficient in certain vitamins and minerals that your body needs, and this is its way of communicating to you. So now I'm going to help and discuss with you the proper skincare regimen to help get your skin protected and balanced with the proper water and oil ratio so that you can finally get those nice compliments and also just have beautiful, healthy skin and never again have to deal with the tightness and the dryness ever again. But before I go into that, I'm just gonna quickly state how I like to break down skincare for better understanding. And so I break skincare down into 3 main categories, and that is cleaning, feeding, and protecting. Those are key. Now we're gonna first start with cleaning the skin. And so the first step we're gonna do is, if you happen to wear makeup, I want you to remove the majority of your makeup. And the way you're gonna use this is, most likely the best way to remove it for you will be an oil cleanse, primarily, because oil is gonna be your best friend for your skin type. You're going to cleanse your skin and get the majority of that makeup off. You don't have to worry too much at this very first step of getting all of it off. We're going to break it down so that we get it off little by little here. So the first step is gonna be using that oil cleanse in order to remove the majority of that makeup. Now the next step I'm gonna have for you is to actually cleanse your skin with the actual cleanser. And I do have a cleanser that I have reviewed and made a video on, and I will put it here for you to also watch. It's one of my favorites. It says it's made for normal and combination skin type, but it is, I would definitely say dry skin type can also use this one, because what you're looking for in cleansers is more of a creamy cleanser. While other skin types might be looking more for bubbles and sudsing, yours primarily, you do not want to use any, like really any bubbles or anything towards your skin. You really just want to use a lot of creams and milks and things like that, because it's very hydrating. You don't have any oil to wash off. So you really just want to just kind of just get rid of the makeup and just cleanse anything from any dirt that's fallen on your skin. Then you're gonna cleanse one more time just to be for certain that we did get all the makeup off. Now your first cleanse after the oil cleanse should have removed all the rest of the makeup, but just to be for certain, I want you to just kind of do it one more time around just to be for certain that you got rid of all of the makeup. And of course you'll do this in the morning and night. The next step will be something that you will do once a week, and that will be how to properly exfoliate your skin. And one of the best ways to exfoliate your skin is to use an enzyme. I don't want you using scrubs. This is gonna be way too harsh for your skin. I want you to use enzymes, preferably ones that might also be added with AHAs, which is alpha hydroxy acids. And those are gonna help to evenly exfoliate your skin as well as hydrate your skin. It's also a natural anti-aging effect. So this is gonna be good in a good way, and it's gonna be put on like a mask, and you wanna keep that active with a facial steamer. Now I do have a video on one of my favorite enzyme masks that I like to use, and this one in particular I would definitely suggest for dry skin type to use as well, so that will be shared here in this video as well. Now your next cleaning step, we're still in the cleaning, is going to be using a toner. Now we are in the feeding stage of our skincare regimen, and this is extremely important. You really need to understand this part in order to be able to start creating that balance that we need in your skin. What you're gonna do next is you're going to use a facial mask, and the facial mask that you're going to use is, it's going to be either a cream mask, which is actually more conditioning, but really you're gonna wanna look for things like gel masks or like a serum mask. The serum mask or the gel mask, sometimes they might even come in the form of a sheet mask, and those are really good to use because one of the reasons those have gotten very popular is that sheet that you put on the skin makes a barrier between the active ingredients that you're trying to feed your skin in and also the air around it. That kind of helps keep the ingredients in the mask effective longer because it keeps it wetter longer. Plus, it also kind of encourages the product to go into the skin because that sheet mask is making that occlusion and that barrier. I will have a video also that I love that I've shared with you, a mask that I absolutely love. It's great also for sensitivity, and you can use this like every day. And I would suggest for dry skin type, you should be using this like every single day. I don't care if you use it day and night, both, but at least I would say at least pretty much every day you really do need to be using this mask. I leave it on for about 10 minutes. It's a great mask. It's great for sensitivity as well, but you will definitely see a huge difference when you use something like this on your skin really well. You're going to see this difference and you're going to notice how different your skin responds and reacts. The next feeding step that I have for you is to use a serum. Mostly and primarily, I want you to use a hydrating serum, but you can also use something like an anti-aging serum. I know that that's probably a big thing for you too. And maybe if you have any sun damage, you might be wanting to use some kind of lightening and brightening. But what we want to do with the serum is we want to feed our skin. And that helps with the goals that we have to kind of help just enforce more hydration and any other skin goals that we might have in our skin. Now we're on to our protection. And this is super, super key for you. Once we have put in the hydration, the water, the next thing we want to do is protect it and to seal it in. And we're going to do everything we can to mimic like skin's natural oil. So what we want to do for this skin type, you can actually use a very heavy moisturizer if you like. You can use one that's mostly oil, if not all oil, because you shouldn't have a problem breaking out. And what that's going to do, just like I showed in that other video with the water and oil ratio and how oil protects that water, we're going to seal in that water that we just put in our skin and the serums and everything to just really let it sit on there in order to keep it locked in as best as we possibly can. A lot of people get the wrong idea about what a moisturizer is. A lot of people think that moisturizers are made to help hydrate the skin, and they're not. They're actually designed to occlude the skin and to protect the skin and to keep that water in the skin. And again, you're gonna obviously put on that moisturizer day and night. The next protecting stage is I want you to use a skin oil or a face oil. This will just kind of be a reinforcement of using a moisturizer on and locking it in even farther by using a skin oil that you can put on your skin. And of course, if it is a day routine, I definitely want you to put on that SPF. And I want you to use nothing lower than 30, but you really should be using higher. I think 30 is just a little too light, but I will also discuss and make another video about SPFs and sun damage as well, sometime hopefully soon. Plus that'll make kind of like a third barrier on your skin in order to lock in all that. So it's really beneficial otherwise. Now I want to say thank you so much for watching to the end of this video, and I still have my promise of giving a gift to you. And right now at this very moment, I plan on giving this out for free, but I might end up charging later on in the future. Since this is kind of a new channel and I'm growing it, I'm offering this for free and letting you be able to have this protocol down for you at the grasp of your fingertips. So I'm offering you my dry skin type book that has all this information in it, and it's very well written and very beautifully displayed, very well that it's actually fun to read, and it will give you all this information as to what to do for your skin type, for dry skin for that matter, and how to protect it and to feed it the water all over again. I will put that link in the description down below for you to click on, and all I need to know is where to send that off to. So just let me know, and I will be happy to give that out freely at this moment to you for watching at the end of this video and for joining me here at Contour Image. Also, in case you're wondering more about your skin type and just to look more farther deeper into it and to make sure you are on the right video for your skin type. I will put a link in the description down below as well for taking a quiz on understanding and knowing your skin type. So I will put that in the bottom below for you to take as well. So thank you so much for joining me here at Contour Image, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And just remember to stay beautiful for life.